Hello and welcome to Burbank QuaranTEEN News, a collection of stories relating to our community, the challenges we're facing in these times, and the positive ways people are coming together to overcome them. My name is Taya Janu, and in this episode we'll be taking a look at the Burbank COVID Zoo, as well as talking to Barbara Holiday, owner and manager of Flappers Comedy Club and Restaurant, to see how Flappers is doing during this pandemic. While the LA Zoo is closed, Burbank families have found a great way to recreate the magic of zoos right on their front lawns. This community-wide effort was started by Kelly Hickey, who heard of a similar project from her sister-in-law. More and more house owners continue joining and putting on a zoo display for children and their family. Although COVID-19 has been keeping us apart this summer, Burbank citizens are working hard to bring this community closer together. Starting in May of this year, 2020, Burbankers started creating zoos in their front yards consisting of stuffed animals, inflatables, and more to entertain families and their kids. They decided to make this a monthly event because of the amazing turnout and the sense of togetherness these zoos create. Each month has a theme, and this month's theme is Favorite Books and Movies. There's a map of all the houses that signed up for this event that can be found on the Facebook page, Burbank Neighborhood Zoo. And although you cannot enter their front yards, you can admire them from a safe distance, from the sidewalk, or from your car. This is an amazing example of the Burbank togetherness that we know and love. Things like this really do help bring the community closer together, and we thank everyone working on it for all of your hard work. I interviewed Barbara Holiday, owner and manager of Flappers Comedy Club and Restaurant, who was so kind as to tell me about how Flappers is dealing with this pandemic and what they have done to adapt to this situation. Hello and thank you, Ms. Holiday, for taking the time out of your busy schedule and joining me today. I have a couple questions for you about Flappers I would like to ask you. First, how exactly have you completely reinvented the entire Flappers business model?
Well, we are a live event venue, and pretty much everything we do was based on actual people in the building. We sell food, we sell drink, and we sell live comedy shows. So when we got shut down March 16th, I basically sat down with my core staff, and we kind of knew what was going to be coming as far as like the technology part of things. We had been dabbling with a few of our classes online, and so we had the technology to do it, and we just immediately that week we sort of all sat down and started to make a plan for what was going to be happening over the next couple of months. We didn't think it would be this long, but we thought maybe 3 months. But we decided immediately that we would try to take our shows online because that would have been the easiest for us to do. Now, the tricky part there was getting comedians to buy into that, because most comedians really don't want to, they're not good with technology. They want it, and they want the reaction of a live audience. So with a little bit of convincing, we just kind of moved slowly and got some comedians to agree to do the shows. And we already had a website that gave us the ability to sell the shows online. So that worked out well. And then, of course, we teach comedy classes, and that actually has been the easiest to migrate to the online world. Like, we actually have gained business in that arena. Now, the restaurant itself, that's been a tricky one because we have a very big kitchen. And so we had to come up with a quick way to start, we had to change our business model from dine-in dining to takeout. And that was pretty challenging. And I'll be honest, we did it for about 8 weeks, and it really wasn't very successful. And the reason is, nobody comes to a comedy club for the food. They come for the shows. So that being said, we decided to stop doing the takeout, but we became a part of something called the Great Plates program. And this is a way we can use our kitchen. And it's a program sponsored by FEMA, and they pay restaurants to deliver meals to seniors. So that's what we're doing in our kitchen now. Every morning, we're preparing meals for seniors and delivering them. So I say we've gone from a nightclub to a breakfast club.
Awesome.
And that's the new model, and we're just, trying to stay afloat.
Okay, my second question. So you said that from dine-in to takeout was challenging, what was another challenging thing when reinventing your business model?
Probably the most challenging thing is converting the public's mindset to accepting the shows online and accepting the classes. And also, I think people in general are afraid of technology. At least maybe our world is divided and this may bring us together, but there are definitely different demographics of people, and some are more comfortable with technology and others are not. And then in the comedy world in particular, I mean, we call it live comedy. So that live element is what really threw off the comedians. And like I said, it still is a challenge to get the big headlining comedians to work online. They don't want to. Like even today, I was talking to someone who knows Seinfeld, Jimmy Brogan, who used to write for The Tonight Show, and amazing comedian. And he's good friends with Jerry Seinfeld. And they both were saying, no Zoom shows. No. They're holding out. So we still have this challenge of getting people to embrace technology instead of be afraid of it. And I think it's a slow progression, but we are headed that way. And as we stay longer in this pandemic, I think people have to make choices about accepting it so that they can at least have a little bit of laughter in their lives, because I believe laughter is essential.
Yes, definitely. So overall, what was the reaction from the public?
Oh gosh. Well, the public has been very, very supportive. In fact, when this first happened, one of the things we did, me and my partner, Dave Reinitz, was we gave some gift cards to our employees so that they could use them for food. And that kind of kept our takeout business going. Then we asked the public to support a program we called Comedians in Need. And we basically were trying to do a win-win-win where we asked them to donate gift cards, and then we would give the gift cards to the comedians who needed them, and then they could use the gift cards for food. So that program was amazing. And by doing that, the public started to say, oh, look, these guys aren't laying down. They're not being quiet. They're really putting themselves out there to try and reinvent themselves. So we're going to support them. And then people started buying tickets for shows. Our phones started ringing a little bit again. And today we get calls every day for people who want to learn about comedy. So more people are taking classes. And also the Great Plates support has been phenomenal. Like today I had a women's shelter call me, and they asked if we could start delivering meals to the women's shelter. So it's sort of taking its own path now, with people hearing about what we're doing, and then they're finding new ways to help us help others. And I think that's, any business can be successful when the mission is to help others. I think that's really important.
Yes, that's really, really awesome. My last question for you is, do you have any advice for people during these challenging times?
Gosh, advice. Keep laughing. I got a weird phone call yesterday, and someone heard my voice on the phone, and the person, a guest, said to me, wow, you sound so happy and so positive. How can it be during this time that you're still like that? I have to call back just to hear your voice. And I thought, as I got off that call, that is exactly what advice I can give anybody right now is we have to have hope. And it does seem very dismal and very dark, and that there's a lot of sadness in the world. But also, I and my staff have looked at this as a chance to reboot, to reset, to rethink the way we've been doing things, and maybe put a little more kindness in the world and do some things that can help others instead of, just be greedy, profitable business people. Not that we ever were that, but it's definitely changed, as I was saying, us thinking about projects that are win-win-win, so that everybody can benefit from it, not just one or a few people. And my best advice is just keep laughing and keep a positive energy and try to put kindness and goodness into the world, because it will come back to you. And people will take care of you if you're taking care of them.
Definitely. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining me today.
Of course.
Thank you so much again, Barbara. We really appreciate all the hard work you're doing to keep us all smiling during this tough time. That's it for this episode of Burbank QuaranTEEN News. Stay tuned for more episodes like this as we continue to bring you new stories and interviews from people working to make our communities stronger and safer during these challenging times. Again, my name is Taya Janu, and this was Burbank QuaranTEEN News.